Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here. Let's dive on in. See what's going on for Pisces, please Spirit. What can you show us for Pisces? What does Pisces need to know right now? For Pisces. For Pisces. Oh wow. This is interesting. Just like a very few minutes ago, I had this moment with something that is Egyptian, and then this came out. So I definitely feel like that is something. This is really interesting energy. Okay. Okay, so what I'm getting here, okay, there are soul connections around you at this time, all right? Some of them are coming up in the form of friendship, and some of them I feel like are coming up in a romantic connection. Now, I feel like a lot of warmth around the friendship card and a lot of coolness around the romantic interest card, but I also get, he's standing here in all this ice, right? But look, his arms are not covered. And that is telling me he has a warmth from the inside. Underneath that, you have mature man. This came up in my meditation this morning. It was a very strong energy, like a reminder almost, or like a kind of a center and ground type energy in this. A lot of times in life we are trying to fill a void that's inside of us, kind of an endless aching need, right? Or we are trying to avoid suffering. And both of those two kind of schools of thought, right, sort of have everything outside of us. It's like whatever the answer to that is going to be outside of us. So like we need to protect ourselves from stuff outside of us that might lead to our suffering. Or on the other hand, we are constantly needing, wanting, longing for something that we don't already have to fill this void inside ourselves. And it's this sort of, I kind of want to say like consumer idea. And I'm not talking about like consumerism, although that may be some kind of material statement on it. I just haven't thought about it. But it's like this, I need things outside of me. I need to consume things outside of me in order to make me feel okay, or in order to make me feel better, in order to like fill this need or this void that I have inside of me. Or it is this energy of, I have suffered. I don't want to suffer anymore. So I'm like closing myself off. Like I'm protecting myself from everything outside me that might hurt me. In both of those scenarios, what we're talking about is trying to fix or protect something inside of us with something outside of us. And we're talking about feelings here. And something outside of us cannot create that feeling. It's inside of us to begin with. So in order to solve it, we have to solve it inside of us. We're not, all this endless chasing the dog energy that we all kind of have and that we all sort of buy into, where, okay, as soon as I get this job, I'll be happy. If I could just win the lottery, I'd be happy. If I could just have this person, contact me, reach out to me, call me, whatever, I'd be happy. All these scenarios in which my happiness depends on something outside of me. That, there is a certain gratification that happens when you get something that you want, right? But it doesn't stop the need, right? And so after we get that, then we want something else. And there is a turning point or a tipping point when we start to really spiritually understand that the only way to fill the void exists within us. And the only way to protect us or solve the energy of our suffering lies within us. We are the limitless beings. You know, there's like consciousness exists on many levels, and we're all at different states of consciousness. And I think the thing that really is the separator between like the two sides of the spectrum, right? The two extremes, is the understanding that what is within me can heal me, can fill me, is enough. Everything I need is inside me. And or the other consciousness, the other side of that consciousness, right? Where it is everything that I need or want, or everything is outside of me. And so when we flip that switch, when we come to the place where we understand that, we make a lot of progress, or we, I don't even know how to really say this, but there is a separation in a way that occurs between that consciousness and the other consciousness. And sometimes it is really hard to find like-minded people in our same state of consciousness. But when we are true to that, and we're dedicated to that, and we stay there, and we hold on to our knowledge and our understanding, which by the way is really hard, right? We're gonna have moments where we start to feel like crap, even though we've been really high vibe for a while, and then it's like, man, I'm just feeling really down. My thoughts are really down. My this is really down, you know? What is so, because we're human, right? What is so important at that time is sort of like recognizing that you're going in that way, and, you know, working through it. Getting yourself back into the high vibrational place, which is going within. That's the quotient. When, you know, when we say like what we want is outside ourselves, like, okay, let's say I want a job, I want a promotion. The danger therein lies is that if I think that I need that promotion in order to be happy, or in order to have like fulfillment on whatever level or whatever, I might start manipulating people. I might start telling lies about people. I might start sabotaging people. I might start going against what is in the overall best interest to have what I want. I might, you know, and that is not good, you know, like that makes you feel worse, right? And on top of it, it also prevents you from being able to have like real connection or real relationships, because everything outside of you is open game to regulate your emotions or to make you feel better. It's all there for you to move around and to do to make you feel better. And that can work, right? You can get the job, you know, you can start a rumor and do this and do that and get the job and whatever. But the level of satisfaction that you feel is like, oh yes, I got what I wanted. But then the very next thing is kind of like, would I have gotten it honestly and fairly? Did I earn it? Did I deserve it? You know, and immediately you're looking outside yourself again for reassurance and affirmation and confirmation. So it's a very short-lived thing. You still have the void. You haven't addressed the issue of the void. And for whatever reason, with this Iceman, I'm not getting like emotionally detached, off limits, like that. His arms are bare. So like there's anytime like nudity in tarot is a sign of vulnerability. And so it's like this person is willing to be vulnerable, and there's also a certain warmth and a certain strength that emanates from the inside of this person So it's giving me this vibe that this person is someone who is in the level of consciousness that everything exists within them in order to solve the problem, right? In order to make themselves feel better. You know, if we feel like crap, maybe there's a wound, you know, that we could heal, that we can observe, that we can nurture, that we can work on. Maybe there's, you know, maybe we're in friendships or relationships or a job that's not in alignment with us. And if we listen to that, that feeling, that thought, that whatever it is, we can solve the problem, and we can realize like, oh, okay, you know, here's how I'm going to deal with that. Like, I have it within myself to, you know, decide how I feel about it. Really strong people have a certain kind of determination to embrace everything. You know, no matter what it is, I embrace it. I look for the good in it. And that sometimes gets kind of a bad rap because, you know, people take that in all kinds of directions, just like everything else. And I find that, like, a lot of times it's like some of the stuff you just sort of have to keep to yourself. Like, you just have to kind of, you know it, feel it, do it yourself, you know, see however it resonates with you. That's your truth. No one else can tell you the truth for you. There isn't a universal, you know, way to go that is the only right way. I really don't believe that. We're all too unique and too different for there to be one thing. There are, I mean, I definitely believe, like, you can get through life constantly and perpetually looking outside yourself, but it's like the Wheel of Fortune. You know, it's like riding the outside of the Wheel of Fortune. Your life feels like a roller coaster. It's up and down depending on what's happening with the world. I mean, it's like, look at a stock market index or an EKG or, you know, that type of sharp up and down. I don't want to live my life like that. Like, I'm not comfortable living my life like that. I've done it. And I've tried it, and I was like, why can't I get off this ride? Like, how do I get off this ride? And then I discovered yoga and meditation, and I've never gone back on that ride again. Well, no, that's not true. I have, you know, and I have to get myself back on track. But, you know, it's a much nicer way to be. You stay calm. Life can throw anything at you, and you remain in a space of kind of being able to handle it, because you're not up and down by what's happening out in the world. It's like what I told you with my channel, with the numbers. You know, if I lived and died for those numbers, I probably would have quit a long time ago, you know. But I don't. I live and die for just like the presence of being here with you on this journey, and the connections that we've made on this channel, and the things that we've discovered and talked about and, you know, been through together. You know, you know, we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. We're all just walking each other home. I'm insanely grateful to everything that has led me here to be here with you guys. I really am. You are a treasure to me. And I feel like if you're still here after all this time and after these deep conversations and everything, there is, you know, we're resonating. There's something to that, right? But with this Ice King, there is this energy of like, you know, I am strong. I know I have it all within me. I am also, though, protective. You know, I've done the work. He's got the lion there that reminds me of the Strength card. I've done the work to tame the lower vibrational parts of myself, and I'm showing up right. You know, I keep my world, how do I want to say it? What it's giving me is that, like, outside it's cold, but inside it's warm, like with him. And so it's kind of like not everyone can withstand this inhospitable setting that I put myself in. You know, like, not if you're someone that needs, you know, everything from the outside, you're gonna freeze to death in that environment. But if you're someone who also keeps themselves warm on the inside, you know, this is all very metaphorical, right? But you know, you produce your own sense of stability, your own sense of calm, your own sense of like, I'm all right. And you're not reliant on the outside world to like give you all of that and bring all that to you and constantly fill this like need within you. Then you can hang in my environment. And he's kind of like by himself. He does have an animal. So for some of you, this person may have an animal. I don't know. I don't always get that in a card. And I am definitely getting a relation to the strength card from this card. So take it as it resonates. It's not going to apply for everyone, in other words. But it's almost like this person's way of like, oh, you can hang here. You can, it's like their way of finding something that's a vibrational or frequential match for them. And with the friendship thing, the friendship card where it's just like warm, this feels simpler. It feels easier. It feels like, oh my gosh, we have this in common. Oh my gosh, we have that in common. And like almost sort of this discovery with probably multiple people that like, wow, we're all those types of people. And these are like past life soul connections. And I think that has something to do with this level of consciousness. Like it's not even just this life where you've established that, but it's like possibly even in a past life. There's just this energy of, you know, we're all on the same page. We all get it. We're all relating. We're all understanding here. We're all of the same level of consciousness. We're all seeing it the same way. Kind of energy here. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that you may be like, you have had some kind of spiritual upliftment, or you have had to stay really true to yourself through some kind of spiritual change where you may have lost friends, you may have lost people in your life. And this seems like a time where there's a gathering. There's like people coming towards you that are attracted to you based on kind of your level of consciousness. And I do feel like it's friends and it's also like a particular person. Geez, a lot of reference to the winter time. It's winter here, you know. Oh, well, I guess it's not winter. You know what? Living in Florida really messes you up. I have no idea anything, like the weather at all, except like if I talk to my daughter or my friends that are up north and they're like, oh my gosh, it was freezing this morning. It was like 30 degrees. Like it's going to be so cold this year. You know, then I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, and it is chilly here. Like it was 56 or something this morning when I got up, you know, which is very cold for where I live. And you know, so it's like there's some kind of consciousness in me that is like, oh yeah, it's getting cold, like the season is changing, but like it's still like right now it's just an absolute gorgeous day, not a cloud in the sky. The sun's out, it's like 74 degrees or something here. And so, you know, it's hard for me to be like, oh yes, it's winter. But then when I see the winter card, I'm like, it's winter, because my husband and I were starting to get our Christmas decorations out. And like some people don't like that, but you know, Halloween has come to pass. Disney is Christmasified, so here we go. But anyway, it feels like this is something that's happening over this period of time. And what is really interesting is that, you know, winter is a time where a lot of people like to stay home and stay warm and stay this. But when you do go out, you tend to congregate together, right? In spaces that are warm, you know, inside. You're not like all over the place. You're in the inside places. So I don't know what this is, but it just keeps giving me like this vibe of like molecules that are all sort of like out there. And then it's like something happens that like brings them all together. So take it as it resonates, you know? Um, I just feel the energy of like soul tribe energy coming together. Even I feel that even on this channel within this collective. So it's just an interesting time. Like it's just an interesting thing. It feels very like magnetic attraction kind of a thing of like, that's just what's happening right now. It's like-minded souls, you know, consciousness, the levels of consciousness are sort of like congregating amongst themselves, sort of type energy. And you have this, wow. There's a lot of celebration here. This may be a particularly social season for some of you out there. It doesn't have to be, like, no need to get down on yourself if it isn't, but it almost feels like a kind of a surprising thing. Like all of a sudden you're maybe being invited to things, like or it's not even necessarily that, but it's like also all of a sudden your social calendar seems kind of full. You have this pendulum, yes or no, and it's giving me like a kind of coming into your gut instinct and sort of being like, do I want to do this or not? And not using your thinking mind to decide, but instead sort of using your gut. How does it make me feel when I think about going? How does it make me feel to hold this invitation? I am getting like wedding energy here with like the hearts, the cake and the champagne. Some of you may be going to a wedding, or you may be getting invited to a wedding, or you may be in a wedding, like not the bride or groom, but like somebody. You may even be planning a wedding. I don't know. There's something here though with that type of energy. You have up in the air, and you also have this wings of love energy. And you know how when you're really smitten with someone, like you can be so lost in fantasy land over that person that you like step out in front of a car in a parking lot, or you know, you lose your head. It's like you leave your house and you forget your phone, or you know, it's like those things because your head just isn't screwed onto your body quite right. You're just sort of not all the way fully present, or there's just a part of you that's lost in this feeling of love. That's what I'm getting from this energy of just like you know, like feeling this to the point of sort of like distraction. Guys, this feels so meant to be. This feels like a total connection, like friendship and relationship wise. It really feels like it's like a part of me is getting like, wait, me? You know that feeling when somebody waves and you're like, oh, are they waving at me? And then you wave back. And then you realize they're waving at the person behind you and you don't know them and they know that person and they're, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh God, that's so embarrassing. But this feels like, no, they're waving at me, you know, like this really confusing kind of energy. Guys, what in the world? Like, this is like you straight up seeing other people for who they are, and other people straight up seeing you for who you are, and the recognition of, okay, we belong together. We are of the same vibrational frequency. And there's something here about the acceptance of all of these people, or like there's something here about like group acceptance. Like maybe in your whole life you have never felt so connected or so like you belong in a certain space the way that you do in this space, and it's like healing. It's like so crazy, that embarrassment, that shame, that like all of that, like the heat that comes to your face when you wave back and it's like not you, and you try to kind of like laugh it off, but you're like, oh shit, that was embarrassing. Of course they weren't waving at me. You know what I mean? all of that is replaced with, oh my gosh, yeah, they are waving at me. Like, and that feeling of like connection and like, okay, you know what I mean? When you are high vibrational, like when you are in this consciousness of like a high level of consciousness, they are waving at you. Like, people want to get close to you. People want to get to know you. People are intrigued by you and drawn to you. And it's because you don't have that emptiness. You're not you know, searching for something outside of yourself to make you feel okay. You're feeling okay. And when you are feeling okay and you're feeling calm and you're feeling, you know, like you accept yourself, then and you accept life just the way life is on life's terms, people are really attracted to you because everybody kind of wants to feel that way, you know. And so, well, no. Okay, no, that actually is not true. The people that want to feel that way will be attracted to you. You will automatically connect with those people. You will automatically be attracted to each other, really. The people that are threatened by that, that can't be happy for you, that are like jealous of that, or are kind of threatened by it because it exposes to them their own inability to soothe themselves on the inside, they will be threatened by it. They will go away from it. But the people that are also seeking that will come to you. They will be attracted to you. There may be some changing relationships here for a lot of you. You know, there may be people that are falling off the map at this time, and there may be new people coming into your map at this time. And I'm just getting like, let it go with the flow. Don't try to save anything. Don't make any Herculean efforts to make people like you or to save something or to figure something out. Sort of roll with the thing and let the universe just sort of like sort it all out. It's like filtering. Okay. I definitely cannot tell you how to live your life. Like, I definitely can't tell you what is the best or anything. I'm just telling you the messages that I get. I am learning just like you are. I am just here figuring it out the same way you are. Wow, okay. So you have the energy of the Five of Pentacles dancing with the King of Pentacles. I call that dancing. On the bottom of the deck right there is the Nine of Wands also. Very telling. So this is a blocked energy. Yeah. All of a sudden, my throat chakra feels like it wants to just close up. As if I've been talking a lot, and I haven't. I've been talking for, I guess I did talk to my daughter, but I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I haven't really been talking that much to be having this experience. Wow, this is so profound. I'm glad that happened because it caused me to take another beat with these cards, and it revealed a deeper meaning. The Five of Pentacles dancing with the King of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is a scarcity mindset, right? As I say all the time, this is a card that talks about our basic human fears. The fear of not being worthy, the fear of being abandoned, the fear of intimacy, all the big tough ones that we all have on some degree, to some degree. These are the things that we can move those things to a secure place. We can move those things to a place where we are not acting out of fear and we are not acting out of a scarcity mindset. We are being brave. When I was just talking to my daughter, and we were talking, it's almost my anniversary, and have been married 28 years, and I'll have been with my husband for 30 years. And my daughter, we were talking about it, and I was saying to her, oh, I just got so lucky. And, you know, she's in a serious relationship, and and I was like, and I kind of feel like you did too, because she's dating a pretty amazing person. Anyway, well, I say that I haven't met him. He's coming home for Thanksgiving, but not that you guys need all this info, but anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, she said, Mom, you didn't really get lucky. You were brave. And I was like, what? And she was like, you didn't subscribe to the like fear-based mentality of your family, because on my dad's side of the family, they didn't want me to marry a Catholic because the Catholics, my great aunts taught school, and in like the one-room schoolhouse in the Midwest, and the Catholics, they used to take their hats and mittens, the other kids would, and put them in the snow so that they had to walk home in the freezing cold with wet hats and mittens. And she didn't want my kids to suffer. And my mom did not want me to marry my husband because, quote unquote, he couldn't support me to the lifestyle to which I had been accustomed. He was poor. And so my family really was like, you know, not all that supportive. My grandma and my dad were like, no, this guy is a keeper. He's amazing. And so I kind of, my daughter was saying to me, like, you were brave. Like, you went against your entire family to marry dad. Like, it wasn't like, you know, and my mom felt that way till the day she died, you know, even though he's done quite well for himself, you know, or we have, I guess, as a team. But the thing is, you know, she didn't, like, their fears were that, you know, we wouldn't have enough money, or that my kids would be, you know, discriminated against or whatever for being Catholic. You know, they were living on these fear-based mentalities. And she was like, Mom, you've never really subscribed to a fear-based mentality. I mean, like, you have insecurities or whatever, but like, you didn't do it. Like, and thank God you were brave and you said, no, I'm doing this. And I was like, wow, you know, I didn't really look at it like that. But that is definitely what I'm seeing right here in these cards. It's like, and I think when the right person comes along, you are not, fear, it doesn't, of course you're afraid that someone's going to break your heart. Although I really wasn't. He always made me feel so secure that I didn't really feel that way, you know? But the thing is, it's like, when you can overcome those fears, and when you can say, I'm doing this, like, I don't care, like, you know, I told my daughter, I said, I didn't know, like, I only knew the experience I had growing up, you know, and like, I grew up pretty much privileged, and so I didn't really know what it was to not be privileged. You know, I didn't know what that like entailed. And so I remember thinking, well, I think it's like Roseanne, the TV show Roseanne. And I was like, can I do that? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. For him, I could do that. And it's like so funny when you look back and you think, and you remember what you were thinking at the time, and like what you equated stuff to in your mind. Like, I thought TV was a realistic portrait of what life is like, and it's not. But anyway, it's just kind of funny. You grab hold of whatever you can grab hold of. But the thing is that, when I feel like when you find the right person, it's like, remember there was the 9 of Wands on the bottom of the deck, which talks about, you know, it is a guarded energy. It's like, I've been hurt many times. Like, I haven't given up wanting this, but I have been hurt many times. And so I have this guard up. You know, I'm persevering, I'm keeping on, but I have all these wands standing up here to remind myself of all the times that I've been hurt. And so I don't get hurt again. And so I'm guarded. And when you have that kind of guard up, that prevents flow. And so with that 5 of Pentacles and that 9 of Wands, there's this energy of a scarcity mindset, sort of, you know, trying to drive you to protect yourself. That not only keeps you protected, but it also keeps you out of the flow of abundance. you have to surrender to life completely, the good and the bad. You have to accept life on life's terms and know that it includes all things, and live your life unconditionally in order to fully be open to the flow of the universe, which is abundance, you know? That's how we get into that. And so there is this energy where it's like we're trying to overcome this scarcity mindset. We're trying to open up to the flow. That's our intention. That's our desire. That's what we want. But we're kind of struggling with it, you know? And then you have the Three of Wands and the Three of Cups. And the threes, and you guys keep getting a lot of threes. So threes, if you start seeing 333, a lot of threes places, that could be very significant that this, you know, a confirmation that this is your reading. Or really what's the best thing is that when you see those numbers, you stop and go, what was I thinking at this time when I saw this, you know? Anyway, and the threes are the trinities, right? They're the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the masculine, the feminine, and the divine, the body, mind, and spirit kind of energy. And when we bring ourselves into that balance, that true balance of body, mind, and spirit, we are really like bringing in a lot of alignment. And it also, threes always give me this vibe of allowing ourselves to be led by the divine. And, you know, with the Three of Wands here, there is an energy of creation and manifestation, especially with this orange background. The orange is the color of our sacral chakra, which is where we like give birth, you know? And it's just giving me this vibe of like really manifesting and consciously creating our future. And with the Three of Cups, there's a lot to celebrate. The Three of Cups is also a card of friendship and celebration of like connection, feeling connected with other people. And again, you know, you have that friendship card and now you have this Three of Cups card, and it's kind of like, this may be the thing that comes in first. You may first find a friend group or a good friend or like a space that you feel you're in community, you know, where you are celebrating. It brings you happiness. It makes you feel joyful. Wow. Okay. So you have the Ace of Cups coming out here and the Five of Pentacles coming out. So, you know, there is, wow, with the Eight of Wands, there is this energy of, it's kind of like flipping that switch, like I was talking about with this levels of consciousness kind of vibe of where it's like, when I finally, you know, am able to pull it all within myself. You know, when you're in the Three of Wands and you're not looking out on that horizon, you know, for all the things that are going to fix you or make your life okay or fill the void within you, and you are instead looking out as the observer, a completely whole being who has everything within themselves to take on anything that may come, and you are completely open to flow and you're manifesting from that space, what you're creating is completely different, you know, and the energy with which you are creating it and the result that you're going to get is going to be totally different. It's not like trying to control everything in life to make it bend to your will. It is saying, life, whatever you have, bring it to me and I will make it into what I need it to be myself, because I have that power, right? Because I am the divine. And so this Five of Pentacles energy really stays in the past, you know. There is this graduation sort of almost kind of feeling out of this energy of, you know, I'll be happy when, or it'll be okay when. And it is, I'm okay right now. I'm happy right now. What do I have to look forward to? What is coming toward me? What am I creating? With my conscious creation. Then you have this Ace of Cups, and this feels like a new beginning in love. And it, you know, again, there is this Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck with the Eight of Wands, and it feels like the first thing that comes in are friends or friendships, or this kind of, even if like sometimes we have a higher vibrational friend, right? Like I have a high vibrational friend that's like, I totally feel like we're always on the same level of consciousness. But he travels all over the world, and he's always gone, and, you know, comes back here and there and whatever. And, you know, we talk here and there, but it could be a lot of like communication or travel to see this person, or, you know, like that kind of a vibe. So it's either like literally people coming into your life, or this sense of connection of like, we're communicating more often than we usually do, or we're seeing each other more often. Like there's more reasons to celebrate. Again, there's this wedding vibe right here. So some of you may have friends that are getting married, or you may be getting married, or I don't know. There's just some kind of vibe. Like maybe it's just even like the vibe of like different events happening. But it seems like there's a lot of reasons to celebrate, or a lot of like, you know, again, events on a social calendar type of energy here. And it's like the minute this energy shifts, where it's like, woe is me, I don't have enough, or where, like, it's not happening for me, or it's not here for me, or whatever, it gives way to everything is out in front of me, and whatever comes toward me, I can transmute it into like whatever I want, you know, like that energy of, yeah. You have the Five of Cups with the Queen of Wands here. And, you know, the Five of Cups, you know, it is someone who is really focused on the past. It is so funny. After I talk to my daughter for like a couple hours or whatever, so that's what we do. Every once in a while, we'll have a big like conversation. It seems like the readings always bring up all of the energy. I literally was like saying, that's like the Five of Cups. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't cry over the spilled milk. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't. I literally was just saying that to her today. Anyway, this Five of Cups energy, it's kind of like looking at everything that you can't do anything about, and sort of identifying with that, and sort of making that be your reality. It's something that we all have a tendency to do from time to time, where we just are really focused on all the things that are not in our control, all the things that we can't do anything about. And we dwell on that, and we focus on that. And we, you know, that thinking takes you out of your high vibrational energy, and really takes you low. But it is always an opportunity, right? Just like with everything, it is an opportunity for us to go, oh, this is still bothering me. And it is also an opportunity to consciously choose to go back into the observer kind of energy, where we're looking at that and we're saying, okay, so what? Maybe those things weren't meant for me. Maybe, you know, all of that has led me to a certain point, like where, you know, all those relationships didn't work out, but had to happen so that I would be here ready for this Two of Cups. And I just need to turn around and start looking at life like the Two of Cups is right here, rather than looking at these Three Cups that have spilled. I that's all I need to do, is kind of turn around and pull my head out of my cape and go, whoa, there's Two Cups right there. It's usually really that easy. You know, if you struggle with this, or if you find yourself having to pull yourself out of this energy on a daily basis, you can sort of be preemptive with it by journaling. Right before you get out of bed, you keep a journal and a pen right by your bed, and just like write down, you know, like ask yourself, how are you feeling? What's important? What are you thinking about? Before anything can interfere with you or affect you or affect your mood, just get it out. And then a lot of times it will help keep you consciously able to choose the higher path, like to stay in this energy better. You know, journaling is an incredible tool I don't talk about it a lot on the channel, but it is an amazing tool. I am always much more grounded and centered and in a better energy when I am journaling regularly. The Queen of Wands is, this is our energy of, I am open to receiving whatever you are bringing in, world. And I am, consciously creating and manifesting what I want. But I am, it's like, I don't know how to say this. It keeps coming across to me like, I am not afraid of whatever you bring. Like, I'm open to it all. Because I have a certain understanding of myself that not only can I handle it, but I can turn a negative into a positive, or I can turn, I can figure out a way. And sometimes that brings more satisfaction than never facing something hard. It brings more satisfaction to find a creative solution to a problem than it does to never have the problem, right? But with the Knight of Pentacles, this is a steady, dedicated, determined, step by step, every day I'm going in the right direction. I'm putting a foot in the right direction. I'm making the conscious choice to choose the path that is in my highest and best. And even if I don't accomplish a lot in that day toward that end, if I just manage to take one step in that direction, I've succeeded. Bhakti, you can't do that to that bed. Bubba, that bed is in the man cave. You can't make that more comfortable. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I love you. All right. He tries to situate his bed and he can't because it's like a memory foam bed. Yeah, there it is. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, the Four of Cups is that energy of kind of always being passed over by the universe a bit, it feels like, or like all the things I wish would have happened that didn't happen, with the Five of Cups to the Four of Cups. I had such high hopes for this and then that didn't work out, and I had such high hopes for this and then that didn't work out, and kind of dwelling on all those things. If they were for you, they would have worked out. They weren't for you. The universe spared you. Sometimes we think we want something that's not for us. Have you ever seen someone where that they're like, oh, I'm just going to use this as an example. My boyfriend this, my boyfriend that. And you're looking at it and you're like, you know them because they're your friend, and you know that they are seeking external validation, and then they get in a relationship and the person is pretty toxic, but your friend is like, oh, this and that. And sometimes they're honest with you about the relationship and you're like, oh man, I feel terrible for my friend, but there's not a lot I can do, but gosh, that sucks. I'll be there for him through the process. That may be all I have to offer, or all I can do. And then you have that friend, start to be kind of like dishonest, or to kind of wear a mask and be like, oh, it's fine, it's good, it's like this, or like, yeah, it is like this, but like it's fine, or I'm glad it's like that, when they're not. And it's like someone who's trying to force a situation that really isn't in their highest and best to be in their highest and best. And you watch them walk down the path, it's like watching a train wreck. I've definitely done this, and it's kind of heartbreaking because you really care about the person, you really love the person, but you're watching them wreck, over something that's just not meant for them, but they just want it so bad to be the time or to be the person that they, Bobby, Bubbaroo. Honey, oh my God, you guys are so cute. That they're sort of forcing it, and it's just not going to go well. That it's just going to be painful at some point. And that's kind of this Five of Cups, Four of Cups. It's like you know, if God protects you from those things, if God says, you know what, I'm knocking that cup over, that person doesn't deserve you. Sometimes the right answer isn't, oh my gosh, the universe hates me. It's freaking thank you, God. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, because it's like, if you have ever watched your friend go through that, it's a train wreck and it wastes like years of their life. And you really, if I put that choice out in front of you and I said, forget everything that you know about the situation, this spilled cup right here. And I said, if I presented this cup to you as, you know what, this person isn't for you, but you might be able to breathe life in it for 3 years, and they're going to be really tough years. They're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. You're going to be really confused. You're going to question everything. You're going to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you're not going to be able to move in the direction of what is meant for you because you're going to be hung up on this which isn't meant for you. Would you choose that? Would you? You would have companionship for 3 years. Would it be worth it for you if I put it to you like that? Because that's what it is. So when God knocks the cup over and says, no, not for you, tower moment, we're breaking this up, we're not letting this come together, you deserve something different, and there's something else out there for you. Why are we crying over it? Why aren't we rejoicing in it? Because it hurts, because it sucks. I get it. I know. But wouldn't it be amazing if we could just be like, oh, hell yes, thank you, God. You know what I mean? Because really, that's more along the lines of the truth. You just spared me all that difficulty and all that heartbreak and all that, you know what I mean? Right? Well, with the Queen of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Wands is sitting back trusting life. If it's for, I don't have to cling to anything. I don't have to force anything. I don't have to make anything happen. Whatever is meant for me, I'm asking for what I want, and whatever is meant for me is showing up. I'm trusting it. I'm surrendering to it. I'm in the flow. I'm totally open to receive, and I'm letting it happen exactly as it's meant to. With no expectation, with no demand, with no manipulation, with none of that. Why? Because I know that every time I have done that, I've suffered. I've suffered mightily. That is the lesson of suffering. Damn, and there is the Strength card. And look, it's a feminine with the lion this time. I'm feeling it, you guys. I am feeling it. All right. The Wheel of Fortune card actually says positive changes on it, which it is. Wow. And then you have the World card, and of course the Empress comes out right here. Okay. Now we're talking. See, when you get rid of the stuff that isn't meant for you and you stop crying over the spilled milk, right? And all those things that didn't work out for you, which were actually blessings, you can embrace, and you start looking at what you have and how protected you are and how much God loves you and how divine you are and how connected you are to the divine, because you didn't have to go down that path. You were spared. You know, you didn't have to take another step. You didn't have to spend another moment. You didn't have to go that route. And you nurture the abundance that you have in your life, then the abundance that you are seeking shows up. That's just how it works. And you got the Empress here, who's another 3, right? So now you have had 4 3s in this reading. The 3 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, the 3 of Swords, and now the Empress. So 3s are definitely a message here. With this Empress energy, you know, this is, and nothing is impossible for me. I'm on top of the freaking world. Everything I touch turns to gold. That's a mindset shift. That's what happens there. When you start focusing on the abundance that's already in your life, and you start looking at every spilled cup as a blessing, as something that, you know, deserves your gratitude, that's the Empress energy. That's how you move into that space. And then everything that you create, you're creating from a space of kind of like truth and honesty. You're not crying for the things that weren't meant for you, that didn't work out for you. You're open to whatever life brings. That Queen of Wands, Wheel of Fortune energy. You can see the Empress energy building here, because the Empress is all four queens put together, and you have the Queen of Wands and then the Queen of Pentacles, and now you have the Empress. You can feel it like building through these choices and these experiences and these decisions that you're making. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to open to flow. When I've tried to control it, things haven't worked out. I've got sucked down paths that weren't meant for me and wasted time, wasted energy. And then I've had to spend time crying over it and getting over it and, you know, getting myself to a place where I can thank God that it didn't happen that way, you know. And so I'm just going to, instead, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to ask for what I want. I'm going to manifest what I want. And I'm going to be open to whatever life brings. I'm going to be calm about it. I'm going to accept whatever it is. And I know that I have the power to transmute whatever I get into whatever I want. Because I'm the freaking Empress. Because that's what I'm becoming. That's where I'm working toward. And this clears out a massive cycle in your life. You have the World card on the bottom of the deck. It's like, I'm done. I'm done with the suffering that came from that energy, that scarcity mindset, that woe was me mindset, that, man, the universe just doesn't ever deliver for me mindset. I'm not there anymore. I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to it. Yeah. You keep getting like a repeat card. This shifts everything, because it isn't just your present moment and your future that you're looking at with through the eyes of abundance and, you know, like anything is possible. With the Hangman here, there's this vibe of kind of recognizing within yourself your own intuitive capability, because you didn't ever stay stuck. It may feel like you stayed stuck. Maybe you got really attached to a relationship and you tried to make it work for, you know, a few years or whatever it is. And you feel like, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have wasted that time. Well, with the Hangman, now when you reflect back on it, what you're looking at is like an intuitive perspective of it, where you're kind of like, I knew then this and I didn't listen. And you know, the Hangman is where you start to put it in perspective and get the enlightenment. Understanding yourself is the key to life. It's not understanding the world and how the world works. It is the world works in patterns and cycles. It's like, you know those old 80s video games where there's like 5 things coming at you and they come at you in a pattern, and like if you learn the pattern, then you can just kind of jump at the same time and you avoid death, right? That's kind of like what life is. It may have a different name, it may have a different this, it may have a different that, but it's kind of just coming at you in cycles and patterns. It's all about you mastering yourself. It's all about you, you know, being able to like navigate your rich, deep internal life that makes you successful at life. It's not whether or not life gives you lemons. That has nothing to do with it. Like, I don't want to say it has nothing to do with it. It has something to do with it. But yeah, I could go on that tangent for way too long, so I'm not going to. But here's what I'm going to tell you. With the Hangman here, there is this energy. Even the World card is like looking over her shoulder here. I'm getting this energy of like looking back and seeing all the information that your intuition was giving you over time and making that make sense and coming to a deep level of understanding and complete clarity about how your intuition works and feeds you valuable information in situations, so that when you are living it forward, you are queued up to listen to your intuition more than any other thing. Not life, not the direction it's going, not what your friends say, but your own intuition. And that is really helping you close out a cycle. With the Four of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles and the Two of Cups, and especially like that Caduceus says this is a healing relationship. The Four of Swords also says it's a healing connection. You're healing through connection, and you're also healing as an individual in your own time. This can even be where like you're with this person and healing takes place, or it is a healing space. You're safe. Your nervous system can relax. This Four of Swords can be in your alone time when you're, you know, driving your car, or taking a bath, or whatever it is that you're doing. Things come up from your subconscious into your conscious mind to be released. Like you're healing on an individual space, kind of based on the fact that you are kind of safely, you are finding safety in a relationship. I'm getting a lot of like shower energy with this. Like maybe you're in the shower and you're like, oh wow, and you figure something out, or you find a new truth, or you have some kind of thought that feels kind of earth-shattering. With the Queen of Pentacles clarifying this Empress energy, I just feel like the Queen of Pentacles energy is the energy that like leads into the Empress here. It's like first you open up to flow, then you really focus on, it feels like gratitude for past experiences, and even for the ability to reflect back on it and be able to make sense out of it, or be able to like come to a deeper level understanding with what really happened there, or what you really experienced, or what the purpose of it was at the time. And kind of nurturing that, and nurturing that energy of seeing the positive in everything. Or it's not even the positive. I think that is kind of where we get derailed. It's really the value of everything. And nurturing that value, nurturing that knowledge, that lesson, nurturing that I got something out of it kind of energy. I feel like that is when, boom, you close out the cycle and you have this relationship. And for some of you, you may already have this relationship. You may have this relationship and it may even be a catalyst for you to help close out this past cycle. But there is definitely a looking back on the past and a new understanding and seeing something clearly. And it does feel extremely related to all the ways in which your intuition communicates with you, and all the valuable insight and information it has always given you. There is something here throughout this reading about, you know, us mastering ourselves internally. And part of that is listening to your freaking intuition. Your ego is the loudest voice in the room. And so oftentimes we hear that and we respond to that and we don't get any further. But our ego is what has us chasing everything outside of ourselves. Everything outside of us is a threat. Everything outside of us is what we need, but we don't have. And that's just not true. Our intuition, your intuition will tell you you are enough. Tap into the divinity within yourself and nothing is impossible. You know, that's the Empress energy. That's Divine Feminine right there. And Divine Masculine trusts himself so much that he's not afraid to make big decisions and to make an impact on not just himself, but the world around him. And he's confident that the decisions he makes are in the highest and best for all. Because he's making them based on that connection to the divinity within himself. Okay. Here we are, guys. Here we are on a beautiful Saturday. Oop, there's two little fluffy clouds now. Oh, I guess there's a few more. I can't see them, but... Oh. All right, here we go. It's November. Can you believe it? Finishing off 2025 strong. I can't believe it. This year just flew by. This is, I feel like, one of the fastest times in a long time for me personally. Sorry, you guys. Okay, if you're dealing with a water sign, the changes are real. Fantasizing. I'm sorry I triggered you. My karmic story is ending. You are hard to forget. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you're getting blocking, triggered. Our eye contact is insane, stuck, and I don't want to let you down. If you are dealing with an earth sign, You're getting, be patient with me, please. Wait for me. Cold. I thought about reaching out, but I don't know what to say, and regret. If you're dealing with an air sign, you're getting nostalgic. I want to talk to you. You were so unexpected. I remember everything you said, and I can't walk away. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you. I really hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I'm sending out tons of love your way. Hope you're getting it. Until next time, all my best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.